This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm not Will, I'm Billy.
And we have a guest today.
Hi guys, I'm Covenant Canon, or rather, I'm Nakai Bodar. I'm the head of Covenant Canon, which is a channel that's dedicated to Covenant lore within the Halo universe, within the Halo series.
And we've got his channel in the background here. Obviously, he's very close to breaking the 7,000 mark here, so let's get him there. You guys want to help him out, you know, click that subscribe button. Be really nice. Anyways.
Gift.
What's that?
A belated birthday gift.
Yeah, there you go.
I got your back, I'm hitting it.
All right, so today is, oh yeah, Billy doesn't usually say this, so I guess I will. It's Wild Card Wednesday. I can't do it just as good as Will can, but whatever. Today, we planned a interview with our guest. Specifically, I have about, 10 questions. We're going to alternate who asks the questions. That way Billy gets a turn to talk, and I don't talk the whole podcast like I normally do. So, Billy, why don't you ask the first question?
Okay. So, what inspired you to make a channel all about the Halo series?
Pretty much since I was like 10 years old, I was into Halo, like from the start. When I first played, I think the first game I played was Halo 2 Anniversary. Or not Halo 2 Anniversary.
I was going to say, what?
It'd be an awesome game.
No, Halo 2 was the first Halo game that I've ever played. And when I first saw the intro cutscene, seeing the Arbiter and the Covenant, I was blown away. And I got so intrigued by the Arbiter story throughout the game. And it got me so hooked up into the elites, the Covenant, that my personal preference would be to play as an elite throughout the original games, up until the point where 343 cut that out. But in regards to making a channel about it, the first Halo channel I got into was Halo Canon. And the first videos I watched were of him reviewing Halo Escalation. And throughout that series, I was so intrigued with the Halo lore. I did my own research in regards to the Covenant, the elites, and all other races within the Covenant. And as I got more and more intrigued by it, I always hopped on the comments and saying, "Halo Canon, do more Covenant stuff," and because he always does the UNSC or the Forerunners as primary topics. And over time, I just got fed up, and I made the first Covenant Canon's first started off as a Facebook page. It first started up as a Facebook page where I do random posts about just random stuff like certain elite characters or Covenant history. And as the months went on, I was more determined with that. And sorry.
All good.
And as time went on, I wanted to do more with it. So I decided to start up a channel called Covenant Canon. And pretty much it started off pretty much as a Covenant knockoff of Halo Canon. But as the years progressed, I decided to shift towards just explaining it, to just explain it as if it was told in universe, like having a character that fits so well in the universe that it could be mistaken that he was actually a part of it. Hence my character Nakai Vodar, or Thestoram, or Zukamar Drakel, Major Thesk, and Draco Studios, respectively. But yeah, that's pretty much why I got so hooked up into Halo and how I started up Covenant Canon, because the lore of Halo and the Covenant especially got me so hooked that I'm pretty much the Covenant nerd today.
Well, you know what? I can't tell you a bigger channel about the Covenant than yours, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've looked. I did look. I was like, I wonder if this is the biggest channel that covers the Covenant, and I could not find a bigger one. So, congrats. You are the de facto Covenant canon person on the internet. So with that, I had kind of a question. When you say you cover the Covenant, I notice a lot of your covering of the Covenant has been essentially like the elites more so than anything else.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's your favorite part of the Covenant as a group, is the elites?
Oh, absolutely. The elites, the Sangheili, are their entire culture is so intriguing. I can't think of any other race, any other species I can think of that has a richer lore in terms of culture and history than the elites. I think the only slight comparison I can make is the Mandalorians from Star Wars.
Right.
But
they've been around forever.
Even then, their lore is even limited to the elites.
Yeah.
But I've been trying, but with Covenant Canon, I've been trying to steer more into other species, like, say, for example, the Jirohane, the Kigyar, brutes, and jackals, respectively. But yeah, the elites are honestly my favorite because of their culture as a warrior race, their high standards of honor, and pretty much having the sickest armors throughout the games.
Right.
That's very true.
And they have the swords.
Dark armor is honestly one of my favorites.
And they've got the swords, right?
Oh man.
The swords are awesome. And I watched your video on the swords. That was
I
a
love
really
that, by the way.
It was a really neat video. So the next question I have then is, what content do you enjoy making the most?
That's a really tricky one. Honestly, I think the ones I enjoy the most are the ones that cover the most amount of detail. Like, say, for example, more recently was my latest video, the video on Niza Kevarosi, the main Sangheili antagonist from Halo, Silent Storm, and Oblivion.
And that's the video I have up right now, by the way.
That one was a very special one, because I contracted a artist on Twitter, Lady Hiru, to pretty much draw up pretty much scenes from the books to try to give a good visualization, just so I don't have to get random clips from all the Halo games. I want to be get them more hooked into it. But I digress. But the content I enjoy the most making are the ones that cover the large amount Covenant stuff, like this, Covenant Navy, and I think one of the biggest ones was the Elite Combat Harness video. It just, when I do longer videos covering big topics, that's when I have the most fun getting into it.
Makes sense. With that being said, though, how often do you get this work like the artwork contracted like that. Is that something you do frequently, or is this more of a special occasion kind of thing?
This was a special occasion. I normally don't do stuff like this, but for this specific case, I wanted it to be special.
Okay.
It is. It's well done. I mean, it looks really good.
Oh yeah, I cannot tell you how much it cost, but it was way worth it.
Now, is there a lot of like I'm gonna be honest with you, I've only read like maybe one or two of the Halo books myself. Is there a lot of books that delve deep into the Covenant side of things?
Oh, absolutely. There's one book, Halo Broken Circle. It pretty much details the founding of the Covenant. Like pretty much after the war between the elites and the prophets, and dealing with
that's the guy right there.
Yep, that's it. It's pretty much detailing like pretty much the foundation of the Covenant, and it also splits off to right after Halo 3.
Okay.
It's pretty much based on a rebellious band of elites that reject the Covenant, and then time jump to present to after Halo 3 is pretty much dealing with their descendants, pretty much.
Okay. All right, Billy, you got that next question.
Here, I got you, Get. So what are you looking forward most with the beautiful Halo Infinite that's coming out?
I would say I'm looking forward to the new Covenant faction, because from what we've seen from the toys that were released a few weeks ago, they seem to be mixing the old style with newer ones.
I must have missed that. Which toys are you talking about?
Just type up Halo Infinite Covenant toys, and it will show a single elite general in a mix between. Wait.
Oh, that's Brutes. That's the Brutes, right?
Yep, that's the Brutes. But that's.
Is this it?
Nope, that's not it.
That's not it. So that's the Arbiter, right? Let's see.
No, actually, I believe it's. Just type up Halo Infinite Covenant toys.
I keep hitting the word new in here, and I don't know why it's. Might be because I'm in DuckDuckGo. I tried to go into Google and I went to DuckDuck on accident. Oh, is this it right here?
No, I don't believe so. Oh, that's not it either. Huh. It popped up on Twitter like nuts.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. You keep talking, I'll try and find it.
Yeah, but what I'm looking forward to, like I said, is the new Covenant faction. Like, we don't know much of what this new Covenant faction is. But when I went to Outpost Discovery, I talked to Frank O'Connor.
Oh, you actually got to talk to him?
About the new Covenant. What?
You actually got to talk to him?
Yeah, I actually got to talk to him about it.
Nice.
And he says that this Covenant faction is going to look very familiar to the past. So, from what I can gather, this Covenant faction could be the link between the original Covenant that we've gotten in the original trilogy to the Julem Dama's Covenant faction from the ones we got from Halo 4 and 5. It seems to be mixing towards
is that
the
it?
mix.
Are these the new guys? That's not it either? Okay.
Huh, that's weird. I would have thought that would have popped up by now.
I'm really surprised too.
Huh. So I totally have a very quick side question. You went to Halo Outpost Discovery?
Yes, I did. I did actually.
Too. How'd you like it?
I loved it. It was fantastic. It was honestly, oh my god, I felt like I was in heaven pretty much. Just going through it all, like seeing the elite statue, that blew my mind. Going through the Wing World experience, Covenant Escape,
Oh yeah.
talking to Frank O'Connor, Kiki Wolf. It was a privilege, honestly.
It was cool. We went out to Chicago to go see it, and we enjoyed it pretty thoroughly. It was cool.
Yeah, I'll try and pull this up off screen real quick. So did you retweet it on your Twitter? Did you retweet it on your Twitter?
Yes, I did actually.
Let's see if I can find you. Okay, I'm not logged in. Wasn't sure if I would be or not.
But yeah, no, Outpost Discovery was awesome, man. Like I that experience was really cool. Like all the life size models and everything, and everybody cosplaying perfectly was really is an experience in itself.
All right, let's
see it's gonna be you're not gonna find it if you're just scrolling down. You're gonna be there for a while.
Am I? Oh darn.
Just type up Halo Infinite Elite General.
Halo Infinite Elite General. Is that it?
Or no, just type up Sangheili General.
Alright, you have to help me with the spelling. Did I get it right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
This is my favorite part of this right now. I love watching you two go back and forth to find this.
Huh.
I love it.
I don't know what's going on. Alright, let's just pretend like we found it and we'll just move on. I apologize. We've taken a little too much time.
It's okay. No.
I was gonna spend money on it, so I was waiting for you guys to find it.
Billy's like, I got the wallet out.
Well, to the question.
Sorry.
Like I said, I'm very looking forward to seeing this new Covenant faction that we're going to be facing. I'm curious on what it actually is founded on, who leads it, what affiliation they have with Cortana, the Created, and all that. And to the game itself, I'm very interested in seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing like where Master Chief's story goes, because it looks to be more personal. Like it seems to be taking a much deeper dive into the more personal, emotional attachment to Halo, where we haven't really seen in the past. I think the only time we've really seen that was in Halo 4. But I think they're going to up the ante, like God of War style emotions.
Did you feel like in Halo 5 they didn't?
Especially with the pilot, with his wife, with the hologram, that tear jerked me.
Did you feel like in Halo 5 they went kind of a completely different direction from 4?
I would say so, but I'm mixed about it. It's just saying Helios itself got me hooked into Halo 5.
Yeah, because if you ask me, it felt like they told the story more personally from the Chief in 4, and then I felt like 5 was very impersonal, telling the story from a third person more so than the Chief himself.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's completely different storytelling in my book. I did feel, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, as a lot of people don't like Halo 4. I'm also mixed on 4, but the story.
As am I.
I felt like the story was. I mean, it felt weird because you go from the Covenant to the Didact, and the Didact was kind of a weird person to move to, even though he was part of like the storyline. It just felt kind of shoehorned for somebody who doesn't read books. Like if you didn't read the books, you wouldn't have any idea who the Didact was, right? You know what I mean? Like there's the impact of the Didact being there is much lessened. But overall, I felt like if you're gonna bring him in, why are you removing him after 4? It's just like, okay, he's gone.
Well, if you like, I guess if you've done the terminals from Halo 3 and CEA, then you would get some idea what he is.
Sure. But not everybody's going to do that. In terms
of the main style games, yeah, I completely agree with you. They should have gave us some more context into him before his big reveal in Halo 4.
Even like an opening video would have been great. Like an opening, like, I don't know, 15 minutes. I know nobody likes long cutscenes, but an opening video 15 minutes for anybody that likes the lore of Halo would have been great.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that too.
I think that would have fixed a lot of people's gripes with the didact, is like if you just had this background, like, hey, this is where he comes from, boom. Like his backstory would have been excellent to dive into, because you barely get any of it in the actual game.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. The storytelling was much more personal in 4, and then it'd be interesting to see them go back to that type of storytelling, because I feel like 343 is more comfortable doing that than what Bungie did.
Yeah.
As far as what makes you nervous about Halo Infinite? What's the thing that's like, ooh, I don't know about this?
I think I'm most nervous about is that I know they've said that 343 has stated that they're going to be taking a more simplistic storyline. I'm kind of worried that they're going to take it to a Halo 3 type simplistic story. Don't get me wrong, Halo 3 was a great closing to the original trilogy, but it had a way too simplistic story, and there were plot threads that made not a lot of sense to me. And I really don't want that to be the case for Infinite. I want it to be a good closing to the Reclaimer saga and opening the door to another saga. But another thing that kind of worries me is the multiplayer, and I'm worried that they're not going to add playable elites, because, you know, I enjoy playing as an elite, and I really hope that they decide to add them in. But my biggest fear at this time is that they won't be added, as they haven't been with Halo 4 or 5.
Completely understand. So, Billy, why don't you get the next question?
Oh, I'm excited. All right. So out of all the mainline Halo games, spanning from Halo Reach and then the rest of the Halos, Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST 4 and 5, Halo Reach. Which one is your favorite, and which one is your least favorite?
I would say my personal favorite has to be Halo 2 / Halo 2 Anniversary. Because of the different direction it went with. From Halo C just went to the Chief story, from arriving at Halo to destroying Halo. In this game, you get to play also as essentially the bad guys and giving them a brand new perspective. And that honestly was great for me. I know that when it was first released, people hated it, but now it's a cult classic pretty much, at least for me. But with Halo 2 Anniversary, it just took the graphics and just blew them away.
Yeah, honestly,
and it remains to this day my favorite. I always play through it whenever I have the chance to hop on MCC. But if I would have to say my least favorite of the Halo games, that's a really tricky one, honestly. If I would have to pick any of them, I would have to say Halo 4.
Oh, you didn't say Reach, thank God.
Because
even more so than 5?
Honestly, I would play Halo 5 a lot because of St. Helios itself, honestly. Yes, the story to that is convoluted and a little all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But Halo 4 is just, I don't know, it's just something with the gameplay doesn't feel right to me. The multiplayer is just meh, honestly. I think the only thing that really gets me to replay the game is Spartan Ops. That's the only really thing I really find replayable.
That was kind of their answer to the Call of Duty Spec Ops, kind of, really. That's at least the way you know, that's the way it works in my head anyway.
Yeah, but like I said, Halo 5 is controversial as all hell. I will agree on that.
But see, people seem to love the multiplayer on that one.
Yeah, people love that. But for me, saying Helios itself makes it really replayable for me.
I just wish they had couch co-op.
So I can see the whole environment, go through the walkabout missions, and just see the Arbiter again, honestly, after all these years.
If they just added the couch co-op back into 5, I would have a lot less gripes with it. That would fix a lot of things for me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
That was my biggest complaint.
Me and my wife played the life out of like the rest of the Halo games, and couch co-op being taken out was a big bummer to us too. So I feel that.
Hey, I'm gonna take a brief pause real quick. I can cut this out when we get onto YouTube, but I'm not gonna pause the recording. I just realized I never checked the original video to make sure the audio is working. Let's just double check that.
Oh, okay.
That way we're not all the way through it. Okay, yeah, it works. We're good.
Okay.
I would have hated to get all the way through this and then be like, oh, the audio doesn't work.
Oh.
That would have sucked. It has happened one time. Will and I made that mistake one time. But Billy has never had that problem yet.
No, not one time. I haven't done that on almost every one of my videos. It's fantastic.
I meant with us.
Oh yeah, with you guys this time.
All right. Sorry about that. Just wanted to double check. I was like, ooh, I know we have that one clip, so I can at least check it. All right, because this is currently rolling, and if I have to recompile it later, the video ends up like 6 times as long. I don't know why it does that, but it does, and I don't like doing it. Especially for an hour long, it'd be like a 20 gig video, and it'd take forever to upload. Okay, now that my sanity has been fixed, I definitely agree with your takes on 4. I can see why a lot of people, like, after I've thought about this a long time, I was like, okay, Halo is like divided, where some people love the campaign, some people love the multiplayer, and some people love both, right? Just like Call of Duty, some people used to love the campaign because there really isn't one anymore. Some people love the multiplayer, and some people love both. I fall somewhere where I fall closer to the campaign, but I still love the multiplayer. So for me, if the campaign is lackluster, I don't like that game as much as I would like the others, even though I do like all of the Halos. So for me, 5 was the biggest miss for me because the campaign felt a little shallow. Although I loved the world it was in. It was really neat to look at.
Oh, for sure.
But as far as the storyline goes, I felt like it was... I couldn't get into it as much. Even 4, I felt like the storyline itself was better. But the campaign, yes. The multiplayer, I'm sorry. For 5, every time I look at the videos, it looks superb. I didn't play it that much, to be totally honest with you. In fact, that's probably the game I've played the least, is 5. It was pretty. I will give you that.
Oh, for sure.
And I look forward to more prettiness in Infinite.
Oh, me too.
So then that brings us to the next question. Which Halo game has your favorite art style for the Covenant?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I can't say which game has the perfect Covenant art style because they all have their different blends, which I personally love. But I have to say my top one in terms of architecture and style, I have to say Halo 2 Anniversary for when I see High Charity or seeing the Elite Brute or any of the other designs for the Covenant. I honestly loved it. But if I have to say in terms of technology and ship design, I have to say Halo Reach. I love getting on board. I love being on the level Long Night of Solace so I can be on board the Covenant Corvette. That honestly, it looked so beautiful. And seeing the spires, the pylons, like just the littlest details in the Covenant technology, it makes me just fall in love with the Covenant, make them more alien-like. But another art style that I really love, and I know people are gonna be very cringy about me for saying Halo 5 in terms of the newer style of the Covenant ships, or rather, they're not Covenant, they're Sangheili ships. But also the newer technology like the shield barrier, the Wraiths, the Banshees. I personally love them. They provide a new take on the Banshees and Wraiths respectively. But all in all, I honestly loved all the. I think my least favorite Covenant designs have to be like the H2A Banshee, and what else? No, I think that's it, honestly. I wasn't a big fan of the H2A Banshee, aside from the ones in multiplayer, which I love.
Actually, the Banshee, of all the games, but the Banshee's probably my favorite vehicle to use.
Me too.
100%. And actually, when I was younger, I had built my own custom Lego Banshee before the Halo Mega Blocks had even come out.
Nice.
Years ago, I made that, and it actually fit a Lego guy inside of it. It was pretty good. It didn't have the right color configuration, but I have no idea what happened to it. It's probably at my parents' house still.
I want a picture of that if you find that.
If I find it,
me too.
You will both get a picture of it. All right, I spent a lot of work on that. It was pretty cool. Anyways, all right, Billy, you got the next question?
I got you. Hang on 1 second.
Can you see it on my screen where I'm sharing it?
It's very small to me, but I got you.
Okay,
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So without being biased, I'm just kidding. But what Halo-centric YouTube channels are your favorite to watch?
Halo Canon. That's my first pick. Because his channel pretty much inspired me to create Covenant Canon for starters.
For a different reason than Halo follower convinced him to make his.
Hidden Xperia is another one of that's personally my favorites. I love his theories. I love his I love pretty much him talking Halo in general, honestly. And I think another one has to be Installation 00. We recently collaborated, and that was just a blast to do. Honestly, he's a great guy, and I love his content where he focuses on the very little details within the Halo universe. And I think another one. I think Halo Canon brought this up in the podcast you had with him, Eckhart Slatter.
Yeah, he did bring him up.
I loved his. Whenever he talks Halo, it's a blast. When he talks about like Halo strategies, like naval strategies, like how the Covenant took over Reach, or how the Covenant won the Battle of Reach, how they won the Battle of Earth. Honestly, like whenever he does Covenant topics, Halo topics, it's a blast, and I'm always entertained. I'm always hooked into it, and it's honestly a blast.
Did you have any others that you wanted to bring up? That was a weird audio just happened.
Oh no, that was my fault. But I think that's it, honestly, in terms of my top tier Halo channels.
It's just that CHRILLCAST. No, I'm just kidding.
The new Halo channel.
Guess we didn't pay him enough, Billy. No, just kidding.
We got you. After this, we got you. What are your now?
Oh man, I'm sorry. I had to make that joke. Hey, how long did it take you to perfect your Sangheili voice?
Perfect. I wouldn't really say perfect, honestly. That's honestly a strong word.
It sounds really good.
I'm still trying to in my honest opinion, it still needs work, honestly. But to answer your question, it took me like years to get to the way it is now, and even then, it definitely needs more improvement. I'm trying to like every time I try to do it, I always try and do it in a very aggressive yet um like like an elegant tone, aggressive and elegant tone,
Which
like
is how
kind
they
of how
sound in the
the
games.
arbiter and the shipmaster Artas Vadum do it in the games. I try to do it in that kind of similar context, though it doesn't always hit, as some highly critical members on my channel uh, point out in the comments. But I always try to improve myself. Honestly, I always um, try and get to where it fits the tone of the elites. But to answer your question, um, it took me about like pretty much 3 or 4 years, pretty much to get to where it is now. Honestly,
All right, Billy, you got the next question.
I got you. I got you. What other game series besides Halo? Even though I love it, what other series, like video game series, do you like?
um, Gears of War. I love their lore. Their lore is awesome. I love Gears of War 5. That was honestly a great game. Um, Assassin's Creed. Uh, I enjoy that lore, except for the those who came before Arc, which like a Forerunner knockoffs. Uh, but in terms of other games, I would say The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. Um, what other games? Um, Grand Theft Auto. Um, what else? I think that's it, honestly, in terms of games. But other stuff I enjoy are Game of Thrones, um, the Marvel movies, and I think that's it, honestly.
I just want to asterisk. I love that everybody always has the same answer with Assassin's Creed. There's always that point where someone's like, "I'm gonna drop off the Assassin's Creed games." Like whether it's Unity or Syndicate, it's always one of them.
Honestly, I enjoyed the newer game Odyssey. That game was honestly a blast to play. Honestly, uh, I loved. I always fight for Sparta. I don't play for Athens. Athens are, in my opinion, they're pansies.
That's great.
And besides, I gotta go with the warrior culture.
There you go.
All day,
There you
man.
go. Show us that tattoo again. That is an
thing is
awesome
so cool,
tattoo.
man.
It's kind of hard to show you guys.
There you go. He's
Also, showing my Sword St. Helios tattoo.
That's awesome.
I actually
love
got
that
this
thing,
yesterday, actually, the day after my birthday. So
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
I remember
Thank
you
you.
telling me that today was the day after your birthday, so
yeah.
cool. So since Billy asked a question out of turn, he asked the wrong one. I'm going to ask you this other one that was supposed to be the before the conclusion question. Do you think that at some point you would run out of Covenant material to cover, or do you think this is a vast enough universe that you probably never will run out of content?
Definitely the latter. Definitely the latter. It's honestly, if anything, I'm overthinking topics to go by, and I'm always thinking of next topics to cover. Honestly, and it's just I can see myself going on this for many more years until the time Halo completely stops.
At which time it would be hard to do Halo material anyways.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I don't see myself running out of ideas for content anytime soon, honestly. with all the books that are being chomped out, and with Infinite and potentially other Halo games coming out in the future, I can definitely see them throwing Covenant or Banished or any other Covenant faction into play in future Halo media. So Covenant Canon ain't dying today, boy.
Keep those swords away from me. No. So would you ever consider doing more theory / speculative content? Like Halo Canon occasionally does, or like a game theory kind of channel?
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that like in one video.
Which
my
one?
series is called Tales of Speculation. I believe I did it with the Lights of St. Helios.
That might have been one of the ones I watched, actually.
With the Honor Guard Ultras. It was, I don't know, like a ways to go. But I think, but there are definitely topics I do want to cover in theories. Like, for example, did Ro Barutami die when the Long Knife Solace was destroyed? He was the shipmaster of the big supercarrier from Halo Reach. And there's a bunch of other theories that I could also go by. But yeah, I can definitely see myself doing more game theory videos in the future.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking to Halo Canon, he said that was one of his favorite things to do, was those types of videos. Because it kind of leaves it wide open for him to fill in the gaps with canon and lore he can find through the books and make it work, kind of.
Yeah. And that's kind of the similar style I have when I make my fandom characters, like try and make them fit within the Halo lore, and it kind of confuses people to make it kind of makes them so well developed that people can confuse them to actually being in the Halo lore.
Just gotta get 343 to bless it off.
Please.
How great would that be? Dream come true, right?
It would be a miracle.
If they ever, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Halo Canon, HC, as he asked us to call him. What would you do if they ever asked you to give a consulting role on one of their games?
I would be completely honored, honestly, and honestly, I would probably take it. I would probably take it and honestly consult them in terms of like in terms of what I've gathered from the Covenant, the Saint Healy, the Brutes, and all that stuff. I would take their cultural aspects and try my best to consult them, trying to make them fit with future media that they're trying to make. And I honestly don't know if I would be a good consultant, honestly.
That's what HC said too.
I would definitely try my best.
He's like, I would be very confused why they would ask me, but hey,
yeah,
whatever. You know what would be, as I'm talking to you, you know what would be a really cool game? Would be something in the Covenant lore with like an Arbiter as the main character.
Oh, for sure. Like probably going over the Arbiter that led the elites during their war against the Prophets, like during the war that led to the foundation of the Covenant. You know the Arbiter from the Halo 2 anniversary terminals?
Yep.
That one, like that right there, that would be a perfect main protagonist for a elite game spinoff.
I don't know why they haven't done that. I mean, I know the Master Chief is iconic and they only have so many development studios.
I guess they're trying to do it based on the wide, like the masses. Like most of them are more into the Master Chief and the UNSC, and I guess from their view, doing a game primarily based behind essentially the main baddies, when I don't think that would have been very profitable from their margins. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, they're a company. They gotta make their quotas. They gotta make profit. And honestly, while I would honestly love an elite based game, I don't see that being very profitable. Compared to a Master Chief style game or a Halo Reach style game.
I actually kind of disagree. I think people at this point, while they're nostalgic for the Chief, I think 343 could really take this in their own direction. And the market, it just takes good marketing. Any game can sell with good marketing. Now, whether or not that's a good game will determine if there's another one made. But marketing can sell anything.
That's true.
If you brought up, like, you just bring up Elite with two swords across his face, and he's just like, here I am, you know, and he just goes after it, and they start bringing down the storyline. Imagine this epic tale of epic proportions with the elites, the saying Healy, you know, and then boom, 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 you know, phrase after phrase, get the right music going, get Marty O'Donnell back on track. Boom, you got a game that can sell. I would buy it. I really would.
Oh, for sure. Cool. I would buy it too. I really hope that would happen one day, honestly. But if I gotta be a realist,
probably not.
The chance of that happening would be not that big right now.
Make a fake commercial on April Fools and see what kind of attention it gets.
Oh my god, that would.
Seriously, that would be actually, there you go. April Fool's Day, release a video. Nobody will watch this interview anyways, but no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Release the April Fool's Day video of you releasing a Covenant-styled Arbiter game. I mean, it'd probably take a little more editing than some of the other videos, but I imagine it could come out really cool.
I'll put the promos all over my store. I got your back.
He runs a GameStop.
Right. We'll do this right.
That's where Billy works his GameStop. You know, he's met Reggie before.
Oh, nice.
Oh, me and Reggie, I'm gonna hunt that boy down. We're gonna be best friends.
Hey, he's got a picture of him and Reggie on his Facebook, so I know he's met him.
Oh, I ran up to him and tried to tackle him, and then he said, "Okay, I guess," and then ran away from me. But we're good friends now.
So, anyways, Billy, open forum. Do you have any more questions?
Other than that, man, I love your I've watched your content before. I mean, Chris has definitely posted some stuff before that I've checked out. Honestly, not really questions, more comments. I really like the grind you put into it, man. You really put a lot of effort into your stuff, and it's incredible. Truthfully, like seeing the dedication to stuff you like. Like I love seeing that. I love the passion. So that's it. Just my comment. I love that.
Thank you very much. It's honestly, it's a real grind and a real lot of effort to make the quality of videos that I make. And honestly, I just do it just to both entertain and inform guys that are unaware of the wide universe that Halo has with the Covenant.
That's awesome, man.
I think your channel is really cool. Actually, it's funny. The way I found your channel was through Halo Canon, so it's funny that you're also inspired by him.
Yeah.
And when he mentioned your channel during our interview, I was like, "That's cool. I didn't know that he watched you." So I was like, "Whoa, that's really neat." So it's always cool when the people you watch are also watching your channel and you just found out about it. Like, I know Installation 00 is a priceless reaction. He's like, "What? He watches my channel?" So that's cool. Do you have any closing comments you'd like to make for the interview?
Just I want to thank you guys for bringing me on here. Honestly, this is the first real podcast I have ever been on, and face reveal.
Hear it first, man.
Yep, first time for everything.
There you go.
But yeah, just honestly, thank you guys for bringing me on here. I feel incredibly honored to be on here.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on. I know it takes time, and I know it's past your bedtime, so I'm just kidding. No, it's been a real pleasure having you on and having you answer these questions, and hopefully we will have you on for more episodes.
I would love to.
All right. Well, so normally I did not explain this to you before the podcast started. So when we sign off, I'll say, as always, I'm Chris, and usually it's Will, but since it's Billy, he's gonna be like, I'm Billy, because he's much more excited than Will usually is. And then you can say, I'm Nakai, and then I'll say, and we will see you, and Billy says on the next CHRILLCAST.
CHRILLCAST, right. I got you.
All right.
Now Billy likes to call it the CHRILLCAST because it's the CHRILLCAST because it's Chris plus Will equals Krill. When it's Chris plus Billy, it's Krilly. That's why he says
Will's
CHRILLCAST.
Gonna kill me.
So anyways, I'm going to start this. Ready? So I'm going to do it. As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Billy.
And I'm Nakai.
Awesome. And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.
Oh!